Today's Wednesday, March 7, 2018. It's time for the Elevator Radio Show.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listen, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Yeehaw. If that doesn't give you the energy you need to start your day, I don't know what will. It is good to be here this Wednesday morning, where in the last 3 days we've literally had snow, rain, sleet, all sorts of crazy stuff going on here in the Midwest, which is typical for the Chicago area weather. And I think somebody once said, if you don't like the weather in Chicago, just wait 15 minutes and it'll change. So anyway, good to be back for another show. It's show number 497. I got to figure what I got to do for show 500. That's I'll have to put some thought into that and see if I can't come up with some interesting tidbits about what we've done in the last 500 shows, or 499 shows, I should say, where we've come, where we're going, and all that good stuff. So that'll be in a couple of weeks, and I'll have to try to figure something out for that and bring that to you as clear and informative as most of these shows typically are. It was great to see so many at the Friday NAESA International Spring educational session on Friday. Always amazed at the outcome or the outpouring of people that come to get their continuing education credits through NAESA International. They do a great job at running these events, and having done this in the past, having run a couple of educational events through the Chicago Elevator Association, those one-day ones, they're just not easy. You know, they're more goes into them than you can imagine, and it's just not that easy. So hats off to the work that they do with the staff that they have to make all of those happen. But it was great to see so many familiar faces in the audience. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay longer than the half an hour that I was there, but it was nice to shake hands with many who I haven't seen in a while, as well as say hi and chat a bit. So it's unfortunate that it takes the requirement of getting continuing educations to see everybody when we do during these types of events, but I'll take it. And I only wish I had more time that day just to attend the full day of education. Because I do find value in education and learning something, and in my blog posts that they put in the show notes, I feel as if I don't learn something new every day, and I don't feel like I have to know everything, but I feel like if I don't learn something new every day, I should be in the pushing up daisies. So that's my put that on a bumper sticker and stick it on your car. So anyway, it was great. Nice. It was a wonderful opportunity to promote the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation, provide a very brief update on what the foundation has been up to in the last year, where it's going, the programs it offers. I realized it was very short. 10 minutes is kind of what I had slated to present on, and had I had a presentation, I literally would have talked forever. So that was not the intention of the opportunity that was presented for me. So anyway, had a great time. Went to dinner with some friends. Just really an enjoyable weekend, or a Friday heading into the weekend. So, but yeah, make sure you get over to NAESA International. Check out all the educational opportunities that they have there, whether they be webinars or in-person locations. And yeah, they put a lot of events on. So support them, become a member, all that good stuff. So got a short show for you today, as I usually say. Not a ton of content to cover on the show, but and kind of nice to have a lighter show for a change without too many serious things to talk about. So we will cover the news of the show next, and as always, get over to the Facebook page, like the page, and comment if you like, and we should have you out of here in no time. So up next is the news.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
Alrighty, first news article of the show. Montgomery, Alabama. A person was injured after the article indicates malfunctions at the Faulkner University elevator. Not a lot of information to share, which makes you kind of wonder whether or not there was an actual malfunction or what actually happened. But apparently, university stated that the victim is in stable condition, recovering nicely, but not a lot of information to cover on that. So there might be some more information next week, maybe not. I don't know. So not 100% sure what happened, nor the degree of of injury to the person that was cited in that. Next news article. This is one from New Zealand, and when I started reading it, now granted, most of our listening audience is in the United States and Canada, but we do have quite a few listeners across the world, which I think is one of the coolest things in the world to me, and I appreciate that. But this one coming from RNZ, and just gives you an idea of how different countries handle work-related incidents, fatalities, and what I kind of just don't really understand in this situation is that there's a statement in here by the Work and Safety Commission in New Zealand, basically stating that nobody was found at fault for what had happened. And I granted, I'm paraphrasing this, so if you want to correct me, feel free to do that. But the reality is that if somebody dies in a work-related accident, something happened. Somebody is at fault. It might be the worker. It might be the company. It might be anything. So, to walk away with this just stating that nobody's at fault, maybe I'm interpreting the statement "nobody's at fault" relating the fatality a little bit too personally, a little bit too deep. I don't think so, but it would be. I truly think that doesn't prevent injuries and fatalities and accidents like this from happening in the future. So there's no issues with the documentation, and it's just anytime we lose somebody in our industry, work related or non-work related, it's significant, and we need to take steps to ensure that that's not happening. So it's pretty key to do that. So that's why I titled it I don't really get this one. And again, maybe I'm not getting the full depth of the article, and it could be the case. I don't really know, but it just seems like there should be a little more than that. Okay, found this one. This is kind of interesting. Dispatched Argus I think this is in the Quad Cities area, but KONE testing first tweeting escalator. I think this is pretty unique. Kind of led me to think, man, I wonder, there are new types of marketing, advertising, widgets, and global GPS tracking where you walk by a store, you get a text or tweet saying, hey, I don't know, McDonald's is having a sale on hamburgers or whatever, and just because you're walking by. Now, I'm not a big fan of being tracked by the world and Google and companies, but I wonder whether or not someday we can make an impact on targeting general writing people, so that basically a wireless tweet or note goes out indicating that, hey, be careful, you're about to get on an escalator, make sure you save that, you take care of the proper safety steps to ensure that you're safe, et cetera, but that's pretty cool. But I think it's kind of interesting to know that the first ever escalator connected to Twitter will allow people to see in real time how the heavy duty machines keep people moving. So I think it's kind of cool. So this is actually happening in London. The only issue that I might find or see is just a concern about being distracted maybe by their phone as they're riding the escalator. But I still think it's really pretty cool if we could imagine machines talking, communicating, and maybe that's the next step. Maybe it is creating the illusion that the equipment that we build, that we make, has a brain, has some type of artificial intelligence to some degree, and can communicate on a personal level with those that are riding on it. I don't know. I know it's way out there, but just interesting. Okay, next news article: eavesdropping on elevator chit chat taught me the secret to small talk. I would have to say that the most likely, in my opinion, elevator mechanics who are on top of cars, who are in the shaftway, probably have heard the most interesting chit chat and seen the most interesting things that I am sure books could be written about it. And Jim Collett had written a book about some of his experiences in the industry. And I think it's cool stuff if, you kind of lump all that into one, one document. I think it's pretty cool. So it's kind of like a psychological type article about elevators and, what was listened to. So during this, basically during the time when trying to figure out what people were talking about in the elevator and why the elevator necessarily might have been a easier place to divulge information or share information. So because it's quick, because it was personal and enclosed space. So anyway, wonder how many deals were made in elevators, how many just interesting conversations happened there. Next news article: thestate.com reporting in South Carolina. Apparently $2.8 million to fix escalators, ? South Carolina lawmakers weigh costly repairs to state buildings. And so the $2.8 million to fix the escalators is just a small piece of the $500 million repair bill for the, to repair South Carolina's colleges and state-owned buildings that are stating it's not likely to pass before the 2018 election. It's a lot of money, obviously, but if you're not investing in your buildings, if you're not investing in repair and upkeep and modernization, stuff like that, you're going to have to pay more money down the road. I can't tell you how many building owners that I communicate with who just say, I can't believe it costs so much to fix whatever I have in my building. And then I go back to them, I say, well, how old is your elevator right now? And they say, oh, it's been installed 1920, whatever. And basically say, well, I think you probably got your money out of your elevator then if there's nobody that can repair it or fix it. So, you might want to start planning to ensure that your elevators are brought up to code or they're safe or whatever. So it's just interesting. So yeah, $2.8 million to fix escalators. That's a lot of money, obviously, but I'm sure there's other, bills that are larger than that, even though the article targets the escalators themselves. I'm sure there's probably something to fix bathroom urinals or something crazy as well. Not to say escalator repair or upgrades or maintenance is that, large of a bill. Next news article, the architecturaldigest.com has an interesting piece that's covering the most Instagrammable restaurants that have tables in an elevator shaft. So there's a couple of those in Chicago, and these are non-operating elevators, but they're still pretty darn cool to look at. So check it out. I'll have to see whether or not I can visit some of these when I'm in those towns. Pretty cool stuff, though, I gotta say. Yeah, really neat. So check that out. Link is in the show notes. Maybe there is a dining opportunity for you somewhere close to your neck of the woods. And these are non-operating elevators. Next news article, old elevator equipment can be difficult to troubleshoot. We work with contractors all the time that literally are trying to scramble to find out, hey, can I get prints for this? Can I do this for this? Whatever. And reality is there's a lot of old equipment still out there, and it is reliable still on many levels. The difficult thing is that learning how to repair them, learning how to get them going again and get parts for them, it can be very difficult. So this is an interesting article about Augusta City Center officials and just kind of the back and forth about trying to get estimates, trying to get repair work cited, and being upset because one entity asked for a modernization replacement quote, the other one against. Anyway, you read the article, it'll make sense when you read it, but the reality is that both contractors came to the same conclusion, that it was an issue with the controller, but one of the contractors came out and said we can fix it with another another way rather than completing building the entire, elevator repair replacement type issues. So, but there's a lot of things that go into a modernization that brings the elevator up to code. A lot of stuff. So, understandably, there's there's ways of doing things right. So yeah, it's difficult to troubleshoot old equipment, and it drives me crazy when I got people up my butt who are literally trying to, say I need it tomorrow when they're trying to fix equipment that's, from 1915. It takes a little bit of time, so they got to be patient with that. Okay, next article, factsweek.com has in Google News, global spiral escalator market growth opportunities, analysts and forecast report 2018-2022. I'm aware of only one global spiral escalator maker. Yeah, there you go. I'll say it one more time. I could be wrong on that, but didn't realize there was a huge demand for that kind of stuff. I'm not quite sure who exactly, buys these reports. But the only ones I've seen are in Las Vegas. The Chicago Elevator Association March meeting recap is up online. You can check out the photos there and get a recap of those who attended. Also, that the person who presented of Helios, which was a app for, I don't know what it does. Anyway, I'm not going to try to paraphrase, but you check that out. Link is in the show notes, and I wasn't able to find the website for that company either, so I would like to learn a little bit more about that as well. Okay, Mall not at fault for teens escalator fall. Thank goodness. This is the Bolton News source, which is, where is this location at? I don't know. Anyway, but it says an investigation has found that the department store was not at fault after a teenager was seriously injured in a fall from an escalator. The 18-year-old woman was rushed to hospital after falling 2 floors. Anyway, the incident has found that the fall was caused by misuse of the escalator at the store and that no health or safety laws had been breached. This is the kind of article that would not be shared in the United States. You know why? Because litigation, lawyers would be grabbing everything, would be just shutting everything down, and the news article, the news media source lead people would just want to share the, photo of the stupid, Olympic downhill skier hanging on the outside of a escalator handrail. That's what they want to do, unfortunately. But that's good. I didn't read the comments, but I'm sure they're very enlightening and entertaining. So that link is in the show notes. Okay, escalator rules in the UK. This is an article that ties in with one of the ones we covered last week or the week before. I can't remember. But as a disabled person, I'm fed up being pushed around on public transport. Your escalator rules are not that precious. And this is in the UK. Apparently, there are rules to stand on the right and then walk on the left. Those are really not the true escalator rules, I got to tell you. And as a person with any type of disability or mobility impairment, navigating the world is a difficult thing to do. Just try it sometime. But just as a reminder, the rules of riding an escalator safely. Let me just get this bigger, for I'm not sure why this is so small. But according to the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation, the rules for escalator and moving walks: step on and off very carefully. People only. No strollers, carts, animals, or luggage. Hold the handrail. Take care of younger children. Never leave them unattended around escalator equipment. Do not touch the sides below the handrail. Keep your feet away from the bottom. Stand closer to the center of the steps and always stand facing forward. Never sit on the escalator steps. Always watch your children. Do not become distracted by your phone or anything else like that. So those are the real escalator rules. Make sure you remember them, make sure you heed them, and share those as well. Well, that's going to do it for the show, everybody. A nice, short, sweet show. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next Wednesday, same time, same channel, same everything over at www.EESF. That's the Safety Foundation. www.elevatorradioshow.com if you're picking up the show from blueberry.com, youtube.com, any one of the other news aggregators that pulls this story and this show out into the wild, wild world. Just get over to Elevator Radio. I got EESF.org on my page, so that's what I keep looking at. Get over to elevatorradioshow.com. All right, you be safe out there. Have a great rest of the week, a great weekend. Thanks, spring, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.